Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. Today I have a setup, play and review for the game Heart of Crown, specifically Fairy Garden, which I have done the unboxing, teaser, trailer, preview of video for. So this is a deck building game. It's extremely similar to Dominion, if you're familiar with that. And by all means do check out my videos coming to do with Dominion as well. I have a lot of expansions I'll be talking to you about, plus expansions for this game, which I have mentioned before. So make sure you like, subscribe and hit the notification bell. The aim of this game is to get yourself 20 influence, which is represented by this kind of number here. And once you've had 20, you will trigger the end of the game. You will take one last turn and then you'll be finishing the round as well. So if you triggered it, then you'll literally finish the round. And then we see if you have got 20 and anyone else has got more than 20, then it's sudden death. You and whoever else also has 20 at least will keep on playing until somebody hits exactly 30 or more, and that person will instantly win. I have seen it happen on occasion. It's very interesting when sometimes everybody actually hits more than 20. So everyone's going to start off with some farming cards. You're going to have 7 of these, and you're going to have 3 of these apprentice maids, which are worth -2. So they are not good for helping you get your points. And you're going to shuffle up these deck of cards. As you can see, I'm not sleeving them for this video just to avoid shine, glimmer and stuff, but do check out my sleeving playlist. I will be sleeving this very soon. So I've got myself 5 cards initially. These cards kind of do nothing, so they can kind of go out of the way. I'm aware this thing's very much crammed in. I just feel if I zoomed out, I will be losing some quality of image. Now I've got 1 card going on here. We have an arrow, so I have a second card, which I'm just for the time being going to put here. And we've got another arrow. Now you can't tell from here, but it's worth 3 points, or 3 coins. 3 coins I can spend to buy something. What can I buy? Well, in this case, I could buy myself a pilgrim, which allows you to, in this case, banish from your hand as many other cards as you wish that costs 2 or fewer. It does say less, but where fewer is a grammatical term. This one, bikini woman. So what we have over here is you can discard as many cards from your hand as you wish, and the amount of that you do discard, basically, you can choose to either get coins or draw more cards. And what else can I buy? Well, I've got this one. You can discard 1 card from your hand if you do gain a card, of course, a coin, sorry, and you're getting yourself a coin. And by the way, coins are represented over here, which we rarely do use. And lastly, over here we have a look at the top 2 cards of your draw pile, choose 1 to add to your hand, and either discard the others or return the top to your draw pile face down. So those are the ones you can buy. You can also buy obviously more farming village cards, but as you can see, these are the basic cards. You're not really going to improve your hand necessarily, unless there's other things you can do with it. You get yourself a city card, which gives you a bit more coins on a future turn when it comes out, or you can get yourself some influence. I'll show you why I'll buy this now. So now I've just got myself some points and it's worth 2. And what I'm going to do, obviously, is discard those along with the rest of my hand. And it's say back someone's turn, it's now back to my turn. I've got the remaining 5 cards. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I could buy something for 4. I could buy the same card twice. So let's say I buy myself 2 pilgrims, and then that is going out. Now, when I set up this deck, what you're doing is you're taking exactly, you're basically making, imagine I only had 1 card here or 2. You're flipping over the next card. If that card is already out, it's going to place one of every card out, so it goes like this. The reason why I'm setting this up like this is the rulebook, just like in Dominion and other games, happens to have a kind of starting suggestion. Now, I play with quite a lot of these. We happen to be playing Tribes of the Frontier at the minute, and you're playing with 10 different types of cards. As you can see, there's only space for 8. So you reveal another card, and in this case, there's a space for a pilgrim. But if, again, there's a pilgrim out, it's going to go out there too. There are 2 rare cards. We have the Imperial Crown, cost 13, of course it'll take up the space, gives you 14 influence. I tried to get the last game, didn't manage it. And over here you have another rare card worth 8, and it has an ability too. So this game is all about getting princesses. So we're going to take our turn, we've got something else, we shuffle back up. Just imagine I can afford 6 now. I can use this card, it's worth 2, 3, 4, 5, and obviously I need to get 1 more card to make it a 6. So I happen to be lucky and get 6 in my hand. So 5 cards, I always play with 5 cards. I've got myself 6 money, I can get myself a princess. I can choose what they do, they all different things, they're going to lead to different strategies. For this one, for example, it lets you acquire 5 royal maids to the market. What this one represents is, in this case, you can discard a non-cursed card from your hand. This is every turn, and you can take an action card from the discard pile and place into your hand. These action cards I'll show you in a second. We also have this one over here. You can acquire 2 cards to the market at a cost of 5 or fewer. When you do, when you back her, you also farming villages not move into your domain. I'll talk to you about that right in this moment. So right now, I need to normally place when I bring out a princess. So let's say I brought out, well, in this case, let's go with this one because it's the simplest to show you. It's worth 6 at the end of the game, so I'm going to maybe bring it out now to get an early start. You must play the 3 most expensive cards that you have, and that's your territory. So I've played out this one. So that's basically going to go there. I'll also bring my next most expensive one, which is the cheap village, and the next most expensive one. These 2 just going to discard pile. And in this case, what you're going to do is just overlay it like this. And what that's kind of showing you is suddenly you have now got yourself a domain. So like the word Dominion, you've now got a domain. You do actually need these laid out. The reason why I'm just showing you like this is for space, because on a future turn you might have, let's say, an action card. Well, an action card you can do is either play it on your turn, or if you don't want to on your turn, you can choose to play it onto one of these locations. It's one of these city cards, as long as, or basically they're called territory cards, but the value or the cost has to be equal or lower than the size. Basically, a Hearth spirit cannot live in a farming village, but they could live in a city, they could live in a large city. So in this case, it can go over here, and on a future turn, you've got your 5 cards, maybe you want to use that too, because of course you're getting yourself an extra coin, etc., and you could be discarding a coin to get an extra one. So some reasons you might want to do that. So we talked about this princess, but there are a couple more to show you. We have one which, if you're playing a higher player account, you want to play with this one. This is twins. Basically, you're taking take 3 tokens from that kind of coin bag with then symbols on them. And what that represents is basically on a turn, you can spend one of those to take an additional turn. So you can do up to 3 times, up to 4 times, depending on who else has brought out one of these characters already. It's the amount of people who have already got a princess plus 1. If I am speaking too fast, by all means slow it down. Of course, do rewatch. And over here, the last one is the cost to buy this card, or the cost to buy a card is reduced by 1. This cannot reduce the cost of the card to 0 or fewer. So that's how that's going to work. Again, you're going to keep on building. You're going to constantly keep on getting more of these cards, because these cards, these royal maids, the senator and the duke, which they are succession cards, you cannot play them until you have a princess. Princesses need, obviously, successors. In this case, you do not have any succession cards until you get a princess out. But once you've got a princess out, you can start playing out your dukes, etc. And again, getting 20 points, you're already a third of the way there, almost. So that's something you can be doing. You keep on taking your turns until you finish the game, which takes, it says 30 to 60 minutes. I generally say it's about an hour, regardless of player count. You think it would take, I guess, longer with more players. I've yet to play it with a 4, unfortunately, just being what it has been. However, as a 2 and a 3, we played back-to-back games. We played 3 games in a row, loved it very much. And now I'm going to tell you about my positives, negatives, and my final review. So, in terms of this idea, the fact that you've got these various princesses is great. We've been playing through all of them. Very much enjoying to see, what we're doing best at. I also like the artwork. This absolutely anime style is really lovely. And the kind of interaction with each other, sometimes it's really negative because you're making people discard cards, you're making people lose some cash or whatever it might be. And there's a tiny bit of errata, actually. But let me speak about other stuff. The amount of cards are really good. The fact that you've got 30, obviously, different of these things you can play with is really nice. And yeah, like I said, everybody loves it. So that's really good positive stuff. Of course, everyone's been saying I want to play it again and again every time it comes out. The negatives, like I said, the coins we don't tend to use much of. Well, fair enough, they are obviously cardboard, but we're thinking it could be something different. The dividers, obviously playing other deck building games, these are, it's thick-ish cardboard, but not that thick. And other ones I've played, like with Aeon's End and stuff, I'm sure it's kind of a plastic feel, which is a lot better, nice kind of laminated feel, like you get with these cards. I don't like them too much, so that's something I dislike. I almost think they almost could be thinner, but more flexible, because it's a bit tighter to play with. The first player advantage I think is strong, because if you play a card, obviously everyone takes a first turn, everyone takes a second turn. The third turn though, you're now going to start having these cards mixed back in with it. And for example, you could have something which means you're interacting with someone, like each of your opponent has 5 or more cards in their hand, must discard. So at the end of your turn, you always will have 5 cards, always draw up again, and if you haven't got enough of a draw deck, you will have to discard down and obviously shuffle them up, and then obviously keep drawing until you have 5. But again, you're having a big advantage for going first. In fact, the person who won the last game happened to go first, and yeah, it was quite a big gap. Aside from that, there's one typo on one card. I think it said the word May, it says MY, so my, but that is incorrect. And there's only one other small point. It's very similar to Dominion. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because I love Dominion. The Duke of Source is very similar to Duchy, also worth 8 coins, so it's really similar, even though Dominion and Domain I mentioned earlier. So I liked it to have been a bit different. Sleeving wise, I haven't had to play it sleeved yet, but some cards were sort of chipping yesterday. Like, a very good card stock, very nice, great company as well run by Eric. So this is by AmassGames, and like I said, this game was mentioned to me, as I mentioned in the other video, because people play this at a convention, and I happened to be playing a game demonstrating to them. I said, what game do you recommend? And they said this game. A friend who loves this game, he said he would like to have introduced it to. He wants to see more princesses. He thinks 6 isn't enough, but the 2 expansions do increase it by an extra princess each. But like I said, 30 different cards, you're playing a lot of stuff. I think we might have not caught everything yet. And rating, 8.5, so much higher than my average of 6.4, based on over 2,700 obviously reviews. Playing with a player as well, check out my accessories playlist too. Lots of fun, like I said, lots to explore. Each of those different sort of starting setups. There's also randomizers. You can pick certain cards as well if you wish to. So we're playing through all of these ones as well, only a kind of 3 less to play with. And ordering it is fine alphabetically, but it would be nice if they had it in bold to say, for example, this is a new card, you haven't played with it before. The FAQ is generally good, but there's a couple of times where we thought it wasn't included and we'd like to have known some more stuff. I know the box does fit the sleeve stuff and includes the expansion, and that's fine. I would love to try that the original version of, obviously, Heart of Crown. I know there are some tweaks to it. A blank, obviously, background, which is fine. I played another game which has gone blank, and that's fine. Doesn't need to have kind of colourful art or whatever. Everything seems to make sense, but the rulebook whilst everything is in the rulebook, we did find on 2 or 3 occasions we think it could have been better organised, so we knew what to do with various things as well. Also, for example, we happened to almost omit the fact that a chaining arrow could be the case. But like I said, very highly rated game, perhaps even in my top 20 games presently. Definitely going to make the sort of my short list for the end of the year. But yeah, well, like I said about subscribing, if you want to check out some more stuff to do with this, enjoy the game. This has been Heart of Crown, and back to the table.